Hello everyone, this is Hensi Thakkar. Today we have with us a very special guest who needs no introduction. She's the Vice Chairperson CSR of Apollo Foundation. She's a YouTuber, an entrepreneur, a fitness enthusiast, and a philanthropist. Ms. Upasana Kamineni Konidela. Welcome to CSR Journal, ma'am. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me, and I would like to share a lot of stuff with you today, so thank you.
So, ma'am, the healthcare systems across the world are currently facing a major overload as they strive to manage COVID as well as non-COVID patients. And the lack of readiness of a global healthcare system has never been more apparent. So how is Apollo as a healthcare service provider coping with these crises?
First of all, I don't think it's lack of readiness because, there are so many things that can hit us. How we've taken care, there couldn't have been a better way than that we could have all taken care of the pandemic. So what we've done, how the governments have helped us globally, depending on the country, depending on the people, I think we've all done a great job. There is no point pointing fingers at the governments, at hospitals, at other countries of how they have actually taken care of the pandemic. There are 1,000 reasons before actually a decision is taken. So, the person who's taking the decision has a lot of pressure on them. So when it comes to readiness, I think that, we were as ready as we could be.
I don't think anybody anticipated that, something like this is going to ever hit us.
Yeah, and then there'll be new viruses coming, maybe next week or the week after, who knows?
Right.
This just came out of the blue because we don't know how this virus came. We don't know from, we know it came from Wuhan, but apart from that, we don't know how it entered the human chain.
Right, right. That makes
and
sense.
Every day is something new that we're learning about the virus. And I get very emotional about this point is because doctors are also learning with us. Nobody knows except God as to what is going to happen with this virus right now.
Yeah, it is very unpredictable. That is true.
It is. And we are all suffering through this. Doctors are learning, frontline workers are learning. You and I are also learning. WHO is also learning. So my only point in this whole pandemic is if you're going to point fingers at people for not taking care of you, please don't do that right now, because everyone needs the strength, support, and positivity, because we don't know when this is going to end.
That is true. So in this situation where, we don't know how it is going to end, how do you think healthcare providers can actually, provide a best case scenario for the citizens? How can what would their role be as healthcare providers?
See, I think every hospital across the country, across the world is doing their best to help patients. Nobody is not denying, not taking patients because of money or not, or because the patient is not, can't pay. People are. The truth is that there are no beds available.
That is true.
And even if we get more beds now, how is it sustainable after the pandemic fades? And how do we get beds so quickly? So there are so many things, before people make statements, I think they just need to think a little.
There has been a surge in cases of mental health, mental depression, youth going into depression and everything, especially because, there's a lockdown and a lot of activities are frozen. So, and there's always been a problem in India regarding addressing these issues. So what do you think we need to do in order to address this stigma, in order to be able to address this in a much better way?
So I'll tell you, it's all state of mind is everything. Okay. And right now, instead of pointing fingers and, bringing all the negativity in the world around us, I think it's time for us to become stronger. And I think it's time for us to become a better version of ourselves. We all know it takes between 40 to 60 days to create a habit. So my request for the whole of India is actually to create a habit of being positive, because the pandemic has redefined a lot of things for us. Whether it's wealth, whether it's time, whether it's relationships, whether it's work atmosphere, the pandemic has redefined a lot of things for us. It's time for us to take charge of our mind, question what's important, actually put down, if you actually start jotting things down, I think it's much better for you as a person to grow in this atmosphere. And I think the anxiety, I wouldn't underestimate it because it is causing huge problems for people. But I request people to get help from certified professionals rather than enthusiasts that are available in the market right now. So I think that is something that people need to concentrate on. And if you ask me about mental health, I cannot give you advice since I'm not clinically certified, and I can't give you on nutrition and I can't give you on fitness. What I can do is I can share my experience.
And it's a great tip, especially about jotting down the issues with us. And I think that's a very great tip, and I think it's going to help a lot of people. So another thing is that I actually just yesterday came across this report by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, where they highlighted that COVID-19 has undone global healthcare development of 25 years in just 25 weeks. And it's a very shocking figure. So I wanted you to highlight on, what kind of capacity building will we require moving forward now, since you're about, talking about moving forward and, solutions instead of thinking about the negativity.
So, well, I haven't read the report yet, but all I can say is that, yes, it's time for us to follow a more holistic type of healthcare. It's not just allopathy and not your doctor's advice that's going to work. You need everything that can help you heal. Medical science can help you 50%, but the rest of it is all about finding what helps you heal. So, as being part of the Apollo family, my grandfather has always taught me to use anything that can help the patient heal better to actually help the patient. Meaning that I use past life regression, I use pranic healing, I use Bach flower remedies, Ayurveda, and Ayush products. Everything is padded on to help the patient recover better. And I think that using a more holistic approach towards healing can help the nation, help the world, not set back so far in terms of medical sciences. There's a huge beauty in India where, I feel the world can heal in India. And I think Indians have that in them because, from our foods to the way we live to our faith and our uh, positivity, I think we can do a lot in terms of healing people. What we see right now, so much hate going on, all that is just superficial because we are frustrated. And I respect people's feelings for whatever they are. But I also know that there's a silver lining. We are using this to vent our frustration, but we will all come back much stronger and much more positive.
Right. And so in order to get this sort of holistic health approach towards healthcare, what kind of policy measures do you think from the side of the government might help, fasten this process?
So what can help fasten, speed up this process
Yeah,
is
like
the government
initiative from
is
the government. Yeah.
correct. So the government is promoting Ayush and yoga, and they're doing a fantastic job, and they're promoting local products as well. So if the insurance coverage could do this, insurance does cover Ayush, but if they could push that more and tell people, maybe even tell people to take insurance, maybe removing tax from wellness services will help a lot. Wellness and fitness services and nutrition will really help a lot. And I think that the government is progressing. I have no problems with the government because I think that they are doing their best with their hands tied. Everyone is in a state of stress with this pandemic. So I'm not a person who points fingers, but I take what's best and make the best out of it.
All right. And ma'am, lastly, I would really like you to tell us that how can citizens of India contribute on an individual level to help, sail through this pandemic, this hopeless situation that we are in?
So the nice thing is we're at a time now where festive season is starting in India.
Yes.
So enjoy yourself, be as generous as possible to yourself and the others, because Indians are meant to be happy. Do things that make you happy. Question things that don't make sense. You've already strengthened some relationships by spending time with them, but don't make them, I would say, strengthen your relationships emotionally, and become stronger as human beings, come out stronger. And I think learn, relearn, unlearn, relearn new things, because this is the time you have that you may never have in your life again. So I think, just by being positive and making the best of it out of the situation we have is our way to go ahead. And one more thing I just wanted to say about the Apollo Foundation, it's not just doing one-time activities. So we always feel that, we have to empower people so they take pride in what they do every day. Just by nobody wants to go with a begging bowl. We need to empower them so that they can become stronger and they can lead their lives through this pandemic. We don't know when it's going to end. So the Apollo Foundation is now trying to provide livelihood for people so they can live a healthier life and provide jobs for them as well.
Thank you for your time. And it was a pleasure speaking to you. It was such a positive interaction, and I think it's going to go a long way to spread even more positivity for everybody. Thank you so much.